Hey everyone, and welcome to my second episode of Nocturnal Grimoire, where I talk to you about the dark, Gothic, and Nocturnal energies within Magick and Witchcraft. I'm Lynx, and today's topic, I'm actually going to be talking to you about what I mean by dark, Gothic, and Nocturnal Witchcraft. But before I start, I actually want to kind of cover two misconceptions that are majorly big within the ideas of magic and witchcraft. The first misconception I wish to cover is the misconception of, isn't magic and witchcraft like evil? No. Truthfully and fully, no. Magic and witchcraft are not evil. People who practice magic and witchcraft actually do not believe in good or evil. They believe in the concept of nature and the balance of both positive and negative energies. I'll cover more of this a little later within this episode, as well as probably other episodes. So I'm going to skip on to the next misconception. Misconception of, don't people who practice magic or witchcraft worship the devil? No. Again, that kind of falls under the category of, we don't believe in good or evil. The devil is actually a Christian or Catholic symbol of a darker being who basically is considered the purest form of evil. Now, a lot of you might actually be thinking, but what about, I don't know, Hades from Disney's Hercules? He was the ruler of the underworld. That's the exact point. He's the god of the underworld. Or there's many gods and goddesses of the underworld, or gods and goddesses that actually partake to the concept of the underworld. I don't really want to dive into this topic just yet, but I will go and say this. Basically, the underworld is like, it's a waiting room, in a sense. It's basically, you're waiting. The gods who rule over it, or guard it, and all that other stuff, are actually the people that work there, in a sense. They help you get from point A, which is coming into the underworld, to point B, which is going beyond the underworld, which is, in a sense, it's kind of up to your own belief. So no, the misconception of witchcraft and magic being practices of the devil is strictly false. Okay, so now going into today's topic, I'm actually going to be talking to you about the ideas of dark, Gothic, and nocturnal energies within the magic and witchcraft elements. What I'm actually going to be talking about is actually the darker sides, the sides that not very many magic users or witchcraft believers or witches, or whatever you wish to call yourself, actually participate in. Some fear it, some actually shy away from it, and some actually don't even know it's there, because they're under the misconception of there's only the light side to everything. So, to dive into this, I'm going to start with the dark aspect. The dark aspect of magic and witchcraft actually is the ideas of dark things calling to you. Like, let's say on a nice spring day, you're going outside to do a ritual, and the sun's shining and all that other stuff, but for those of you who are more drawn to the dark, you most likely would actually go and find a shadier spot to go and be, rather than out in the open where the sun beats down on you. I myself literally prefer actually doing a lot of my own spells, rituals, and stuff like that actually within my own room, because the fact that it actually does get a nice dark to it, and when I actually do light my candles, the atmosphere of the room actually has a nice dark tone to it. Also what I mean by the concepts of dark is also like the colors that you're drawn to, or the gods and goddesses that you are drawn to. They can, like the colors, for instance, I use black candles instead of white candles when I do a lot of my protection magic or purity magic. And white candles actually are major symbols within the concept of being protection and purity. But I find black to be more of those, holds more of that energy for me. So that's my dark part. Also with gods, you also have gods that kind of symbolize things like destruction, death, and aspects of a darker side. And for me, I actually find more comfort in that than I do with, let's say, Apollo, who is really, really light. He is light, everything, and I like Apollo, I love Apollo, but he's not really someone I actually go for. I prefer someone like Hecate or Anubis over Apollo, in my opinion. Now, the Gothic aspect of what I mean by Gothic energies within Magick and Witchcraft actually refers more towards the way you present yourself, in a sense, or your style. Now, Gothic has many, many branches of how you can dress and look and all that other stuff. At least, this is what I believe. There are probably going to be a million Gothic people out there that could possibly go and say, no, you have to stick to a certain style, you have to listen to a certain type of band, you have to do this, do that, do this. I don't believe that. Mostly for the fact that Gothic literally represents the ideas of individuality and self-love, all within how you wish to show it. I, for instance, actually love the Gothic style and all the other stuff because I actually do like the fact that you can go from old day, like English dressed and proper and fancy, to crazy bizarre fantasy, and all of it is something that you wish to express within yourself. I do a lot of the dark and fantasy kind of based styles, mostly for the fact that I have a drawn towards fantasy way more than anything else, and I also love just dark clothing or dark styles because it kind of gives me this feeling of I have confidence within myself. So within the Gothic energies that I'm going to be showing you is something like how to empower your own personal totems, or rings, or necklaces, or jewelry, how to use eyeliner and stuff like that that you wish to put on as a magical form, that to actually help empower you within your own magic and witchcraft stuff. The other thing I'm going to be talking about is Nocturnal Energy. Nocturnal Energy within Magick and Witchcraft actually refers to more of the nighttime energy that literally is within this world, using times of the night, or gods of the night, or using the moon, or using stones that represent nighttime. All of these kind of aspects are things that actually are very nocturnal in their power as a form of actual energy that you can actually use within yourself to help power any kind of spell, ritual, or potion, or whatever thing you wish to do within Magick and Witchcraft. And I want to go and cover the aspect of the ideas of positive and negative within darkness. A lot of people assume that dark, nocturnal, and Gothic kind of energies could possibly relate to the ideas of negative energies, when in retrospects there's a balance within all of it. I'm going to be showing you more of the positive aspects of dark, nocturnal, and Gothic magics and energies. But I may dwell into a few things of the negative energies within it, so you kind of get a good idea of what to maybe avoid or look out for, as well as stuff to actually use and be more attuned towards. I'm going to be talking about dark gods and goddesses within this whole show, which are actually going to be more of the gods and goddesses in a view of like a darker side. I may even take light gods and goddesses and twist them a bit to where a person who is more interested in the dark but can't find a deity or an aspect within a dark god or goddess, and to be able to take a light god or goddess and kind of twist them into a more darker approach so they feel more comfortable using this. I will also be talking about like symbols, witchy items, and aspects within the magic culture that you normally use within spells, rituals, potions, divination, the list goes on. Because I want to let you know certain little things that actually can be used even by any person who does magic and witchcraft, but can be taken or used as a form of a dark aspect, just to kind of familiarize yourself with it. I'll be telling you guys about dark myths, legends, tales, and stuff like that, and also probably be having some fun little scary story moments with some of my friends and guests that I'll be having on the show. But I'm also going to just be giving you like little things that I find just fun within the categories of dark, Gothic, and nocturnal witchcraft and magic. So that's today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed and you actually kind of get a more understanding of what I'm going to be talking about within my show, so you're not confused too much. I will probably cover this topic a little bit more every now and then in other episodes, just to kind of give a refresher on what I'm talking about, and also just to kind of point out little things that I may have missed within this episode and others. I will hopefully have another video tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next week. Hopefully I get around to actually making this video. I'm hoping to actually have a guest on it to do a little Q&As, or question and answers. Anyway, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again, and blessed be, my friend.